What's up?
Hi, everyone. Just give us a second to share out. Let everybody get on.
What's up, Easter?
Hey, everyone. All right, guys, share us out. Excuse me.
Alright, sorry, I'm trying to block the sun. It'll be going behind the other house pretty soon.
Oh, why?
Because my phone's all jacked up.
Oh.
My phone drank some coffee. Now it's all screwed up.
I had nothing to do with it. Just to put that out there, I did not feed his phone coffee. So, at all.
But I can't share it out.
It's okay. Because we have so many other people that are going to share it out for us, right, guys? Share us out. Share us out. Anyone that's new that doesn't know RJ, my twin, this is RJ. For those of you that have had the pleasure of meeting him, he's gracing us with his presence today. Thank you so much. He's been a busy guy manifesting all this stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're just going to give it a little bit for people to log on. We are going to have a question answer session at the end of this. So if you have any questions about manifesting, our journey, how we met, anything that you want to know, feel free to put your comments in the comments below, and RJ will check them.
What's up, Tim?
So we will be answering some questions, either personal or general, manifesting, twin flame, whatever. Even if you're watching the replay, and you can ask some questions and give us ideas to do some more videos and that kind of thing. Okay. So
the sun is almost.
Yay! He's blocking my sun right now. See, he's multi-talented. He is my sun and he blocks it. That's awesome.
I am your sun.
Sunshine. my sun card. Okay. So all right. Well, we'll get started now. We're talking about manifesting. Anyone that's watched us for a while, we have this quote. Anytime people ask us for stuff, we say, manifest that shit. Okay, that's kind of our thing. And I guess we'll just start talking a little bit. We have not been on as much because we have been very busy. A lot of it has to do with the stuff that we've been manifesting. First, let's talk about our relationship. Okay, that was definitely a manifestation for both of us. That's where it all started. So, we've had some struggles since we met. A lot of spiritual stuff has happened to both of us where things have just got ripped away from us. And that's what we always talk about. When you feel like you're losing everything and your world's falling apart, sometimes it's just falling into place. Sometimes, you have to take out those things that are blocking other things from coming in. We talk a lot about placeholders, okay? Things that you have either emotionally, mentally, even materialistically or physically that you hold on to with an attachment that makes it very hard for whatever you are trying to manifest or you desire to come in. If you have something in that place, it's very hard for it to come in. So we went through a process. We've been homeless since we met. We have lost pretty much everything on every level, but we knew through the process what was going on and why it was happening. Doesn't make it any easier, but we, have really learned a lot. Right. We really learned a lot about, changing our focus, what's important. A lot of times we put importance on things that are not important. Okay, so, we have a new house that we just moved into. As you see, we have a nice
back
deck with trees. Okay, that was one of the things we manifested, and it was really weird because this house came up with a lot of things we purposely manifested and some things we might have manifested a little accidentally or not quite how we wanted. So, but we're
specific enough
right
on something.
To be very specific when you're manifesting, because the universe does have a sense of humor. Okay. So we have manifested a couple of things that were just like, oh, okay, that's not really what I meant, but we'll take it. Okay, be grateful. Grateful is very important. A lot of people, they don't show gratitude for what they have, and then they expect to keep on receiving. And it's about focus. If you're focusing on what you don't want and you're not focusing on what you do want by being grateful for it, that's the wrong energy to be in. Okay, so we just manifested the house. My son played a very big part in manifesting his room and his situation. He manifested a bathroom.
We were going through houses looking at them, and he was like looking at some pictures with us, and I was like, oh, this isn't, because one of the things I wanted was a master bathroom, and he's like, oh, I want my room to have a bathroom, and I was like, well,
not a chance, kid.
You're not getting ours. You gotta
right.
Manifest your own. And well, yeah, that ended up
happening.
We came to look at the house, and there's both rooms have bathrooms, so it was like,
right.
All right. And the bathroom, the room we took is maybe a little bit smaller, but it has the back porch, so
right.
We have to make some sacrifices. But hey,
right.
The other thing that we both manifested was the deck, like out of the back or out of the
with
room.
That kind of view,
right?
We like to protect our peace. So
some of you may know this area. A lot of the old houses, like Victorian style houses, have a lot of like little patios right out of the master suite. So that was always something like, yeah, we want something like that, but not overlooking like a street. You know what I mean? So the other thing was the columns.
Right. The columns were funny because we were going by all these houses with these nice big columns. So we got columns on this smaller, not Victorian house.
Much smaller scale. So, we'll have to post some pictures of some stuff later, but after we get settled in. But what else? Was there anything else with the?
Not that I could think of right now, but we are very happy here. The energy is great where we moved. The house is perfect for us, exactly what we need to continue with what we're doing. In the interim, I know that we have touched on this a little bit, but RJ ended up stumbling on a very good position. Neither one of us were really planning on getting a job. We wanted to do this full time.
When we first got to North Carolina, we kind of talked about, when we first started talking about, we need to kind of settle for a little bit. Aaron need to get into school, stuff like that, until we can get everything else kind of situated. So I kind of looked passively, I guess you'd say, just checking out, see what there was. Of course, I was going to do massage too, but the way everything was to get licensed out here was just, it really pulled me away from that for right now. But it ended up like getting to the point where I felt like I needed to do something to kind of give us an extra push to really get to where we wanted. So I'd really been thinking about getting a job, and just doing something that I was always good at doing and what I like, um, outside of massage and that stuff. And I ended up getting a call from a place that I applied for apparently like 40 days prior. Like I didn't even remember. I had to go look and see what it was. Anyways, I get in there and find out it's a startup manufacturing company. They had only been running since June or something like that. They started hiring in May, I think. So of this year, so they haven't even been running for a year. And they're doing a lot of things that most companies couldn't do. So, but I'm in a position where I am going to really move up the ladder. And I really feel like this is something because it doesn't really happen all the time. Like these are opportunities you have to manifest. You're not just going to be able to go to a company, any manufacturer that's been in business for years and just jump the ladder because these people are there for life. You know, they get their benefits, they get comfortable. Of course, I'm not planning on that. There's much bigger plans, but this experience that I manifested was really good for me to learn some other things, leadership skills, because I've always been, especially in job situations, when people make me angry, I usually don't hold back. So
not only that, but he's
that
also met some people there, like that he thinks one of them is actually a twin flame.
He's this one particular guy kind of we just connected right away, and he was like just started getting closer to me and telling me about his life, and he's telling me about his situation with his wife who lives in another country. And all of a sudden I hearing it, he was like, 1 minute I hate her, 1 minute I love her. And so it was like I started getting curious. So once I felt like he was comfortable enough with me, I asked him for the birth dates. And I did the numbers, and it was crazy. I was like, "Yep, what I thought." So
you're so good. I never wait for people to get comfortable. I just say, "What's your birthday?"
Well, it's a little bit different in my situation.
Not for me.
Doing when we're online, that's typically what we're doing. So
I'll go up to a stranger if they're be.
All right, see. Anyways, so he started asking me questions, of course, like, well, what is that? Da, 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 da. And I started telling him about, his life path number. And because I told her too, I was like, he's a very spiritual person, but he doesn't really realize it. And I was able to tell him through his life path number, that's one of his things. And I told him too the other day that I feel like one of our big purposes of meeting was for me to teach him enough to start teaching other people, because that's really, I see that, and he's really good with stuff like that, and he's all about teaching people, at work and stuff like that, just his mentality. So he could be a really great spiritual teacher. He just needs to get on track, basically. So, and even some of the other people too that I've met, especially I've noticed a lot of the younger generations, these 18-year-olds, they're really into astrology and numerology and just all this kind of stuff. They're very spiritual kids, young kids, or young adults, I guess. So it's really cool to kind of see that too. And I have some ideas of what I'm kind of there to do. We'll see how long it takes. I mean, it's not something that like I said, I'm not going to be a lifer. But
also, what I wanted to point out too, not to throw you under the bus, baby, but Ron was kind of struggling, as a lot do, with taking the resistance off of or focusing too much on lack. This was something that I think the universe said, okay, we're going to give you this thing with purpose. that's going to take your focus off of the lack of not having money or being self-sufficient on your own, because we have bigger things for you to do. Because it's, for him, he would love to be doing this full time, and he will eventually. Sometimes the universe gives us a cushion. Okay, so this is specifically for those of you that are really scared to step away from something that's solid and secure to go off on your own and do your life mission, whatever. It's a scary thing. And it was funny because he says he knew that the minute he took this job, that we were going to start building clients, we were going to start doing, a lot better with it. And it really did happen. And of course, I appreciate everybody out there that's been so supportive to us. And really, we've had a lot of support. We've never gone without, because every time we need something, there's someone there, helping us along. Not going to mention any names. I try to blow people up as much as possible, but I know that a lot of people that just want to see us continue doing what we're doing, they're not doing it for credit. So, but I just wanted everybody to know that does support us in every level, that we do appreciate it so much. But I feel like, that was something that he had to see also, for, you want to add to that?
Well, it's just, I think I wasn't quite ready to be pulled away from that security, from having that security. And that, I think, is something that a lot of people struggle with, is that being able to get away. Because I started my massage business, which was successful, but I had somebody else that was working, so it wasn't completely putting all my faith into this and being able to survive. So,
but the flip side of that also was the fact that he likes his job. He doesn't feel like he needs to be there.
Oh, yeah, and I love telling people that
right.
too. Right? I told one guy, I was like, yeah, sometimes my girlfriend, wife, fiance, every day I say something different. But then I was like, she makes more than I do sometimes. I was like, I really don't have to work if I don't want to. And he just looked at me, and I was like, I'm just here because I want to be here, for one. I really felt like I needed to do something else too. Like, I just felt, I don't know, idle hands. Doing this is great, but I'm that kind of hands-on person too that needs to be building something. And that's why I needed our own space, so that way I could get some cars to think around.
Right. He's going to eventually have a YouTube channel. Anyone that isn't on our current YouTube channel, the link is over there in the description. So the thing about it is I just totally lost my train of thought. I hate that. No, that's okay. It was my fault. But all right, let's just move on. It'll come to me.
All right. So I think the last big point we wanted to kind of put out there with manifesting was, I'm going to actually be driving out to Utah on Friday to surprise my kids for Christmas. And that was something, of course, obviously I really wanted to go out there and see them. But I really feel like, we both really feel like my oldest daughter, Sophia, definitely was the one manifesting that. She put way more work into it than I did, I'm sure. So, because of course I don't know how this, that, and the other, how much it would be, and all that. So, and work-wise, but my boss, I talked to him, and he was like, oh, because I work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but he was like, oh yeah, it'll be easy to get that shift covered. He's like, everybody's gonna want to work and get that extra money. So it's like, well, yeah, the extra money's nice, but getting to see my girls is much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more, it's much more priority.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. it's a priority.
It's more of a priority.
So,
you see, and it's about taking your resistance off of anything. It's like, and this is what I wanted to say too. Those of you that feel like you are stuck in a job or stuck in a situation, because he had said something about someone he talked to at work that just like hated their job. And, it's just like when you feel like you're stuck somewhere or it's not fun or you need that and you have all that resistance or that lack on there, that's when it becomes horrible. Like he likes his job because he doesn't have that I need this to pay my bills or and that's a big part. Sometimes you can't go straight from security to just flying free, trust the universe. So sometimes it's a step up. If you can get to the point where you keep the security but you're not bound by it. It's about not being bound to anything, trusting that you're going to be where you need to be, when you need to be there, and how, and not depending on anything, because honestly in life nothing is for sure. Nothing. Somebody that is rich beyond belief can be poor the next day, and vice versa. Nothing is from one day to the next absolute. Well, so if you're holding on to stuff that
I talked to another guy too that there's a lot of manufacturers around where this one's at, and so a lot of them have moved over here, and one of them, his mom is the one who told him about it, but she won't leave the place she's at because they're more established. But the thing about that though is what she's not seeing, because she's worried that it could be here and then one minute it won't. Any business can be there and then shut down or lay off a bunch of people. We've seen it happen numerous times. So, worrying about that, you have to risk versus reward in this situation for sure, because if you're in a comfortable position, you're going to be there for a while before you move up. You may retire from that position before the next position above you retires. You never know. So a place like this that's growing as fast as it's growing, that's doing some of the things that it's doing, it's kind of crazy not to, especially if you're a career-minded person that's wanting a place to be stable at like that, because you can move to the top like real quick.
And here's the thing too, and I stress this all the time. You are wasting your time trying to manifest something if you are not going to take the steps to allow what you're trying to manifest. For example, you can't manifest something that your current situation doesn't support. If you're trying to manifest $100,000 a year job and then you get upset because you lose your $20,000 a year job, if you're trying to hold on to that $20,000 a year job instead of losing that job and another door opening for you, you're wasting your time manifesting, because you're not stepping into the faith you need to in order to support your desire. So you have to be very careful when you're manifesting something, that you're taking the steps necessary to allow the universe to put you in a position, and sometimes that is by supposedly bad things happening, like losing your job or getting kicked out of a house. Okay, you're manifesting a better house, and then you get upset because you get evicted from a place. But sometimes we hold on to stuff that we shouldn't be holding on to, and we prevent what we're trying so hard to manifest from coming in. So,
well, and that's that's the thing too, is a lot of the time that contrast that happens, we're supposed to learn something before we receive certain things that we want to, because you have to be, it's almost like, think of it as a kid. You don't give a kid a certain toy until they're a certain age, because like a choking hazard, you can think of it that way, you know what I mean? You got to wait until you're at a certain level, or you have a certain amount of wisdom gained that's going to help you continue to progress, because that's the whole point, is to continue to progress. Okay, once you've manifested that, you'll enjoy it, and then you'll desire more. and then you'll move on to the next thing that you have to let go of that one in order to get the next one, and then it just you repeat the cycle pretty much. So, is there anything else you wanted to cover?
No, I think we should just get to the meat of it. Like, how do you manifest what you want, right? Okay, number one, be grateful. If you notice the people that have the least and everything goes wrong for them, they are not grateful for anything they have. You have to be grateful for what you have. And there's always someone that is better off, and there's always someone that's worse off. And the whole point is, if you're not grateful for what you do have, you're putting negative energy. If you're just focusing on what you don't have or where you're lacking, when you're grateful, the universe gives you more of that energy of things to be grateful for. So I'm going to start my, I used to do this thing. I'm going to actually do it on video this time, but it's called Gratitude to Grace, where I come up with something every day that I'm grateful for. I'm going to take comments of other people, what they're grateful for. And it's great. You put the energy, that positive energy in, and too many people, if you think of some of the people in your life that are just negative and they're always talking about what they don't have and what they wish they had, and you look at them and you're like, well, why can't you just be grateful for, like I always say on my videos, be grateful for the little things like breathing. It's not a little thing, okay? Breathing, if you don't breathe, you're not alive. Okay, so we say be grateful for the little things, that you have both your legs. So there's always something to be grateful for. Find it. Focus on that. Take your focus off of the negative. Focus on what you want, and focus on and put your attention away from what you don't want. And you'll see a big difference. Big. Because what you have to realize is your reality that you're going through right now. You created it by negative thought. I don't care who you are or what you say. I don't care what situation you're in. You create your reality, okay? And if you focus on that, you create more of it. You have to change your focus to what you want, not what you're living in or what you don't want, okay?
And then now.
Yeah.
Talking to now, claim it. Saying, I know you guys have heard her Beauty and the Beast analogy.
Sure,
so I'm not going to repeat it because I'm sure most all of you know it. If you don't,
it's on the YouTube channel. Check it out.
Probably any last videos.
Right.
But you use your imagination and you live in that reality that you want to create. So that's really where that you're claiming it. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to live, or this is what I'm going to have in my life. So just claiming it, keeping it in your thought process, but more, because you don't want to really put over focus, and that's the next thing, is removing focus. So you want to kind of like put it in your subconscious, like not really having it on your mind constantly. After a while, you want to just kind of put it away and just let the universe do its thing.
Right, because if you focus on it too much, then you start thinking about all the things that can go wrong, or what you don't have, or the lack of it. So if you put your desire out there, focus on it, put the energy into it, and then just let it go and allow the universe to work on it without your resistance. Okay, if you focus on it too much, then you start putting resistance to it. So it's very important to focus on what you want, not what you're seeing. But then once you do put that focus and that desire out there, you want to remove the focus, because you don't want to start talking yourself out of it. Okay. So
that's that right there is something you can learn from your kids.
Right. We've learned a lot from, especially my son, and his daughters.
You figure the way he manifested this house, I've not seen many houses that, especially it's just a 2-bedroom house. So usually there's
not only that, but
like,
his new color is cyan blue. Okay. He is all about blue. Look, even the shovel right there is blue. Everything in our in our decorations ended up being the cyan color. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. Like, I was at the store picking out just things that I liked, and it was just like, I came home, I'm like, why is everything blue? Why is it all this? And he'd come in, oh, look, cyan. Look, where we're looking is like this color that he loves. And here's the thing about kids: learn from your kids, because they don't have blocks. They look at something, they say, oh, I love that. Oh, I want that. And they don't have any resistance, like, I don't have enough money to get it, or I'm never going to get it, because they don't have that resistance. They just put their pure desire out there.
Resistance from us.
Right. We teach our kids resistance. We teach ourselves we teach our kids that they have to be cautious, and they don't have to take risks. They have to be secure. They have to be, all these things. That's why kids are so pure until we learn them. So, definitely learn from your kids. That's one of my biggest tips, okay? And also follow your gut, follow your intuition, okay? That's a really big thing. A lot of times when we get an inspired thought or we get a feeling to do something, we go against it. We talk ourselves out of it. And, we try to control, okay, I want a new job, but I'm going to go only to this place, or, oh, you have a great idea to go to this new company. No, that's too risky. Meanwhile, that idea that was in line with your inner being that you were getting as inspiration, you're like not paying attention to that. And you may get a better situation, but you're not getting the situation that's intended for you by ignoring your intuition. Okay. The last thing I want to touch on is decluttering. Okay. Declutter, detox, get rid of anything that is blockers. That's emotionally, that's mentally, that's materialistically. If you want a brand new car, okay, but you're holding on to a car that's broken down, or trying to keep on fixing something that you want something new, but you don't have the money for, you having that placeholder, whether it's material or emotional or mental, whatever is sitting there in the spot of what you are trying to manifest or you desire, you got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it, whether it's a thought process, a habit, an item, because eventually the universe will start pulling things away from you. Well, you manifested this. I can't put it in there if you're going to leave this in there. So a lot of times we block ourselves by holding on to things that we need to let go of in order to get more in. Okay. So, all right. So if anybody has any questions, I don't know if you've been watching the questions, if anybody had any questions.
I don't know if there's been people coming and going, I think so.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions, we'll be happy to answer any questions that have to either do with our journey, manifesting in general. And again, if you're watching the replay, please, you can ask those questions. We will try to respond to those with some answers or do another video. Okay. So if there's any questions, we'll give everybody a couple of minutes, and then we are going to log off, and I will probably be back in a little bit to do some readings. I do offer what's blocking you from manifesting. It's in my services on my group page. So that will be in the description or in one of the comments, or you can contact me directly to set that up. We can go through what is blocking you from manifesting, and we'll give you some tips and tricks of how to pivot a little bit from what you're manifesting to what you want to manifest. We also do twin flame relationship readings, mentoring on both manifesting, love, attraction, twin flame relationships. So definitely contact us. We're going to be getting on live a lot more. I'll be getting on a lot more often, and he will be trying to commit to at least once a week. Yeah, hopefully we'll get him a little bit more. So now that we're all moved in, and once the holidays pass, we're hoping to get on a lot more often. So, all right. So we're gonna end this here.
Miss you too, Rose.
Since I don't really see any comments coming up.
I can't really.
But again,
my phone's all jacked up,
yeah,
so.
if anybody wants to throw some comments down in the comment section, we will look back at it and we'll either respond to it or do another video answering some questions.
Come and see Rose. Rose, when are you going to be going to Wyoming?
Yeah, we were hoping you were going to be in Wyoming because I was going to make the trip with him and just drop me off at Rose's in the area. But you're kind of a little out of the way, and he's stretched for time. So
yeah, it's a 30-hour drive.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, you want to do your famous?
Well, hold on, there's. Yeah, we know you're not in Wyoming yet. We'll talk, Rose. We'll talk. It's good being on, though. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be trying to get on more if I can. She fights me a lot of the time, though. Janine, go sleep. I won't go to sleep right now. I'm just gonna go lay there and just toss and turn, and then yeah. But anyways, so I'm sure you guys will see me again. Oh, but we'll talk.
Yeah, I'll
we'll
fill
talk,
them in
Rose.
too. I know a little bit about it.
But yeah, well.
All right, it was nice seeing everybody.
Peace.
Love you all.